Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I came across 3 different articles that came out within days of each other that all seem to contradict each other. And this is one of the things when I go out and I read articles or I find information out there as far as anything that I've been listening to or reading, I believe half of what I see and none of what I hear, because there is so much contradictory information out there. It's very hard to put a grasp on what is truth, what is late information, what is new information, and what is the facts of the matter, because a lot of times facts and truths are not the same thing. And this is what it comes down to. On May 14th, I found an article that came out that said overseas investors can't get enough of American debt. This was on May 14th. On May 15th, I found an article that says overseas investors sell $300 billion in U.S. treasuries in March as demand for dollars soar. So those 2 articles, if you were to read them individually, you would believe that overseas investors are dumping U.S. treasuries. Or if you had read on the 14th and not the 15th, if you read that article, you would believe that overseas investors are diving into U.S. treasuries. These are 2 very contradictory sounding articles. Then on May 16th, I found an article, Fed's massive asset buying hasn't been matching the surge in U.S. government issuance. So through all this economic downturn, we were under the impression that the Federal Reserve is buying up all the U.S. Treasury's debt. But that's not necessarily the case. They have been buying a lot of it. Their massive buying of U.S. Treasuries, the quantitative easing program, but it has not kept up with the pace of issuance. So the United States government is diving deeper into the debt faster than than the Federal Reserve is buying those U.S. Treasuries. And now who is buying them? Well, we know Japanese bond buyers are, and so are European bond buyers. And these guys are buying them because their own sovereign debt, the ones in their local currencies, are not paying nearly as much as the U.S. government is. So we have a lot of U.S. treasuries being sold to overseas buyers. But in March, we had this big economic downturn, and people all of a sudden were not like, hey, I'm not taking somebody else's debt. I want the dollars. I want the end result right now. And so there was a lot of overseas investors who were dumping bonds at that time, $300 billion worth, to get themselves into dollars. All 3 articles came out came out on the 14th, 15th, and 16th. And if you read them individually, you would believe totally different things. Anyway, I found that to be kind of interesting, and I thought I would share it with you guys. I'll leave links down to these articles down in the description. All right, Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.